Happy Super Bowl Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. You guys get us started. Let me know in the chat down below who wins Super Bowl 59. Not who you want to win, but who you think is going to be victorious. What color confetti will be raining down in NOLA tonight? Is it KC? Is it Philly? Let me know in the comment section down below. So Bleacher Report suggested a wild trade, so wild that I was like, I can't not talk about it. It was the craziest thing I've seen. And so for the rest of today's show, we're just going to discuss it, see if I think it's legit, see if I would do it. And here it is. Micah Parsons, that's who the Ravens would get. The Cowboys would receive Zay Flowers, Kyle Van Noy, and a 2025 first-round pick. That's a lot to give up for a guy like Micah Parsons, but is he worth it? We'll talk about it before we do that. We got to hear from Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report. He said, the Ravens will be giving up a quality receiver on a rookie deal, but pass catchers are easier to find than all-pro caliber pass rushers. Baltimore has proven that it can field a functional offense without top receiving talent as long as quarterback Lamar Jackson is healthy. However, its 30th ranked pass defense was an issue last season. And all I got to say is, wow, this would absolutely break the internet, okay? And if you think the Luka Doncic deal broke the internet this past week, I think this one would do maybe similar type numbers. But let's talk about it, okay? Before I talk about it, though, I want to hear you guys talk about it in the comment section down below for me. Would you make this trade? Go ahead, type Y for yes, type N for no. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break in just a couple of seconds. This is going to be our pinned comment, meaning it's going to be at the top of the comment section. Super easy for you guys to find. Give me a yes or give me a no. So Micah Parsons for Zay, Van Noy, and a 2025 first-round pick. At the first glance, it seems like a ton. Okay? And at the first glance, you kind of want to start by saying no shot in hell, but I want to start by looking at Micah Parsons' side of it, okay? Looking if this is even a possibility, looking what you would get, and maybe the things that kind of make you go, about Micah Parsons. Let's talk about why a Micah trade could happen. Number one, Cowboys paid Dak Prescott, beginning of the season. Number two, the Cowboys paid CeeDee Lamb, middle of the offseason, in the summer, right at training camp. Number three, you got to ask the question, if those two things are true, which they are, do they want to pay him, or can they even pay him? And it honestly kind of looks like Dallas might be secretly rebuilding, okay? I think if you have that much money for Dak and for CD, it's never going to be a full rebuild, but I think with the pieces around them, it might be. And do you know what's great to have during rebuilds? Draft picks, especially in the first round. And that's what Micah Parsons might be, okay? And that's what Micah Parsons might get. And my take on this is when Parsons is at his best, he is one of the best players in the National Football League, okay? I know you heard me just say he's one of the best edge rushers in the National Football League. Yeah, I didn't say that. I said he's one of the best players in the National Football League. And it even goes tenfold because he plays at a game-changing position, right? It's not just, look at Fred Warner. Fred Warner is a fantastic linebacker, but a linebacker can only affect so much. A pass rusher outside of quarterback and maybe left tackle is the most important position on the football field. I do have some concerns with Parsons, though. With Micah, it seems like after those first three seasons, those first three full ones, that's why we're only going to look at 2021 through 2023, it seems like he burns really hot in the beginning and then kind of tails off towards the end. This is sacks after week 12 in each of the first three seasons. In 2021, he had 5 in 7 games. Not bad at all, right? But then you look at 2022 and you look at 2023, and in 8 games and in 7 games played, he had 2.5. Okay? So you got to ask the question, is it him just being used properly, or is his body not built to withstand an entire season? Because what did we see this last year? This team, especially this pass rushing unit, failed us in the playoffs. Well, if you look at Micah Parsons in his last playoff game and the divisional round against Green Bay, in the wild card round against Green Bay, he had 2 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, not a single sack, and not a single quarterback hit, okay? And plain and simple, this team needs pass rushers in January. This team, this offense, it's good enough to get to the playoffs without pass rushers from September to December. But when you get into January and when you face quarterbacks that you're going to face in the AFC and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, you need to be able to get to those guys. And Micah Parsons in his first few years has shown that maybe he doesn't have that ability. Okay? But with all that being said, he's only 25 years old. Okay? I know that shocked some of you. It shocked some of me when I found that out when I was doing research and building this script today. But he's only 25 years old. He's got an entire career ahead of him. And if you could get a premier edge rusher at a premier position in this game at the ripe age of 25, that could set your future up. That could give you a shot at a Super Bowl because he's that good. Okay, so coming up, I'm going to tell you whether I would make the trade or not. So stick around. Got a lot of great things to talk about. But speaking of great things, Prize Picks. It's one of the best things, as they say. And it's so easy to play. That's exactly why I love it. And right now, it is time for the big game. So don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks. It's the best place to win cash while watching the big game. And Prize Picks is giving away one free pick for it, where one starting quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, will only need to throw 1 yard to win. And if you're correct on it, and at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. So sign up today, get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And you can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Guys, we got the big game coming up in just mere moments. This is the pinnacle of the entire football season. And if you want to win some cold hard cash, use this. Take advantage and take even more advantage. Use code CLNS and get $50 when you play just $5. That's my lineup for tonight. I got the more on Patrick Mahomes rushing or passing yards. Got the less on Saquon Barkley rush yards. I know, hot take. And then giving the more on Jalen Hurts rushing or receiving touchdowns. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, run your game. So my short answer for this is yes. Yes, I would. I know it's crazy. I know I'm probably going to get crucified in the comment section for it. But when you got a guy like Micah Parsons and you could possibly get him on your team, I think you got to give up a lot for him because that's what it takes for a guy who has these kind of numbers. In 13 games this year, he would have almost had the lead in sacks on this team. He had 43 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and if you go back to the last 3 seasons, 13 sacks is his minimum, and that was his rookie year, where he also notched 84 tackles. You can line this guy up anywhere on the field. He could be linebacker, he could be edge rusher, he could be defensive tackle, he could be anything. Okay, so that's my short answer. My long answer is it's complicated. Okay, my long answer, I can't even put right there because I'm telling you it right now. Because the reality of this situation with this team and how it is right now with this front five and their pass rushing abilities, it's just not good enough. Okay, their pass rush win rate, 33%, was 29th best in the NFL. Their run stop win rate, 26th best in the NFL. QB pressure rate, 25th. Time to pressure, meaning how long did quarterbacks have in the pocket until they felt pressure? Almost 3 seconds. Dead last in the National Football League. Every single one of those numbers changes if you get Micah Parsons on your roster. Every single one of them. I know you got to give up Zay Flowers. I know you'd have to give up Kyle Van Noy. He's about to be 34 years old anyway. And I know you'd have to give up a first-round pick. But this team's Super Bowl window is right now. And you saw it in the game against Buffalo. What you're missing is a premier pass rusher. And so I don't care what you have to give up. If you could get Micah Parsons in the building, you do it. And it can work because you can backfill, in my opinion, at the wide receiver position. Number one, you could sign a wide receiver in free agency, okay? There's plenty of good options. There's not any great options, I would say, but you could get a guy in here like a Josh Palmer or a Keenan Allen, and if you pair him with Rashad Bateman, that wouldn't be half as bad because you still got a lot of good core offensive players. So you sign a wide receiver and free agent. Let's just say it's Keenan Allen, okay? Then you go on and you draft a wide receiver in the second or third round. All those 5 guys, great players. Outside of Jalen Royals, I don't know if they'll be available in the second or third round. But these guys, and Savion Williams, Isaiah Bond, A.O. Maynard, Matthew Golden, Jalen Noel, I think those guys would all be available in the second, third, maybe even fourth, and could come in here, and would they be as good as Zay Flowers? No, they won't. Okay? If you trade Zay Flowers away, it's going to be hard for you to get a Zay Flowers guy back. But I think it's worth it for Micah Parsons if you could sign a wide receiver in free agency and if you could draft one that you think would be serviceable. Okay? Now, do I think it will happen? No. I give it a 2% chance. Very, very unlikely. Okay? So, don't get your panties in the wad. Don't get all mad. Don't get all upset about me. This won't happen. But if it were on the table, guys, I'm going to be honest, I would do it. Okay, what's the percent chance this happens, though? I gave it 2%. What are you giving it? Let me know in the comment section down below right now. And I think there are a lot of great things that could come of this, okay? Because when you look at the core of what this offense is, okay? If you look at what the core of what this offense could be, if you made this deal and still drafted a wide receiver and still signed a wide receiver in free agency, you would have Lamar Jackson, you would have Derrick Henry, you'd have Isaiah Likely, you'd have Mark Andrews, you'd have that wide receiver free agent, you would have Rashad Bateman, you would have the drafted free agent, you would have Justice Hill. You'd still have a great offense, okay? And then you pair that with the premier edge rusher on the other side. I know it's a lot. I know it was crazy, but thanks so much for entertaining this, for hanging out with me on today's show. If you guys haven't already, make sure to hit that sub button. Y'all enjoy Super Bowl Sunday.